Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside. Come inside. There behind the glass is a real blade of grass. Be careful as you pass. Move along. Move along. But here we are, back on the fabulous West Coast. And we will get some grass because Rainbow Dash finally allowed the rain to fall. And man, did she let it rain. Wow. I pine rested like 30 seconds of the downpour from earlier today. Hopefully a couple of you guys caught that. But wow, was it raining. It's like they're calling for 2 feet of snow in Tahoe tonight. 2 feet, not 12 inch, 2 feet of snow. From nothing. Crazy. Which means we might actually get the snowboard before Thanksgiving, but who knows. But you're not here for the snow report, are you? No, I don't think you were. You might be here because good friend of the program, Mr. Peter New, has deemed worthy to join us this time. Didn't he? Mr. New.
Huh?
Are you around there somewhere?
What?
Huh? Huh?
Huh?
Huh?
What?
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Pete.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very good to have you back, my friend.
It's really good to be back. It's been quite some time since I've been here.
It's been over a year.
Yeah, I feel like it's always been over a year, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
the first time we had you, then we had another year.
It had been well more than a year the first time,
Yeah.
too. I'd never
well,
done
more than
it.
a year and then another year
Yeah.
to get you back. Sorry about that. You know, Pony's
Sorry.
blowing up, so we had a lot of people to get in the show.
Here we are now.
Here we
So
are
that's
now.
what
We're
matters.
back.
Yeah.
We're back. It's wonderful to have you back. How's things in Vancouver?
They're lovely. It's we've also had much rain in the last few days, and we got some snow on our local mountains last night, which was good to hear.
Yes.
Because we didn't get a lot last year, so hopefully there's some this year.
Hopefully this.
It'll be good for. I'm not so much concerned about the skiing and such. It's fun, but I'm more concerned with. We had a lot of water shortages and things this past summer, which
same way with California.
was
Oh my
not.
goodness,
It's never good to have water shortages and fires
Nope.
in the wettest part of the continent.
No.
So
There's this when I go for my walks, my 4-mile walk in the morning.
so
There's
this year we have more moisture.
there's a pond over in the park where I walk, and it's completely empty, completely dry. And it's like I never thought I'd ever see it, but there you go. We need some water. Hey, I don't know if I
I lost
asked
you for a second there. I don't know what happened.
Oh, we're back. Okay, I got you. I got you. I don't know if I asked you this question the last time, but cartoons and comics. Which ones are you indulging in lately?
More cartoons than comics in general. Although I'm always open. I've been watching a lot of like I'm watching Steven Universe for the second time already, and I've been enjoying. I'm trying out Gravity Falls. I'm so far not hooked. It's it might just be there's a lot of buzz, and it's one of those things where my expectations are really high, and then it's not quite there for me.
I've heard it took a while to get going.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah.
I've heard that one took a while.
Yeah, I watched a bunch of Rick and Morty, and so I've been catching up with all these things now. It's fun.
Cool.
Some good stuff getting made right now, which is exciting.
Absolutely. This season, other than the first 4 seasons, is sort of like your tour de force on MLP. Really, because so many new characters for you, like Popeye, Dr. Hooves, the cake-eating guards from Narrary Investigates.
Yeah.
I could tell that was you. Oh my God, could I tell that was you? all these little side characters that you're doing. Can you actually name all the ponies you did this season so far?
No.
Wow.
No, it's been a really long time since I've recorded it all, and I was also recording Pet Shop at the same time, and I play so many characters on that show as well that everything starts to blur, and there are only certain things that stand out. Like I knew the Orchard Blossom episode was coming up because I thought the song was so fun to record, and so there's certain things that you remember. But then, for the most part, it's like an episode will come on, and then I'll start, because I don't get to see them in Canada, and I'll just start getting all these tweets going, "Oh, you were amazing in today's episode," and I have to sort of get onto Google and figure out what aired and what I did in it, and then it's like, "Oh yeah, right, oh yeah, I remember doing that hard of hearing lawn worker guy, Oh yeah, that." It sort of all comes back to you.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what little side character you did, you always put a little bit of fun in it, which adds to the depth of any episode that you're in, which
thank you.
I love.
I try.
Absolutely.
I try.
Yeah. But you're not just mailing it in, which some people could do, but not
I mean, it's an interesting process because sometimes I'll make offers that I think are really entertaining and yet they'll say no, just make it an ordinary guy, and so then I'll make it an ordinary guy, but even in trying to make it an ordinary guy, I always end up trying to go, well, it can't just be an ordinary guy, it has to be an interestingly ordinary guy somehow. But if it were up to me, I would always make like bizarre choices.
Oh, that's the one the acting teacher told me. It's like, always go too far. They can always tell you to come back, but don't. That's right. Don't give them half of what you think it should be. Always give them more, and they'll tell you to pull, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, to extend that they don't always know what they're looking for, right? Like even in the case of a show that's already going, like Ponies, sometimes the script will just say like, I mean, I don't remember if this is what the script said particularly, but sometimes the script will say something like, lawn worker pony. And that will be it. There'll be no other description.
Right.
And so they don't know really what they want to hear, and they'll give it to you on the day. You're standing in the room, and they're like, "Okay, Peter, what do you have for that?" And you just go, "Well, what about this for it?" And then you finesse it from there and try to come up with a voice that everybody's happy with.
Yes.
So a lot of it, comes down to your ability as an actor to make a very strong, very bold choice, and they'll hear that choice and go either yeah that's perfect, or nah, something else, and at which point you make another strong bold choice. Keep doing that until they go yeah something.
Keep doing that. And of course we were talking about Littleest Pet Shop, and Sunil is gone, or
there's still 26 more
26 more coming, but after that.
But we've recorded them all,
yes.
So that's it from our end.
Recorded them all, and then out to sea. So that's sort of sad.
Yeah, that is sad. That's been a really, really fun ride, that show, and I also think it's a bit of an underrated show too. I think a lot of people tried it out in the first season when it first started, saw the first couple episodes maybe, and didn't get turned on by it, and gave up on it. But I actually think the show got really very strong as it went along, and certainly it's been a terrific opportunity for me. It's my first real opportunity as an actor to show what I can do as a voice actor, and actually I think partly because of that, they the pony people kind of heard back that I was I played something like 60 characters on Littleest Pet Shop.
Wow.
And I think the pony people heard back from that come season 5 and went, maybe we're not using him enough.
Maybe we're not using that man quite enough. His skill is just a little bit better than we think. Yes. Yes. The one thing with that show being let go, what's the are there any new shows proposed coming around? Auditioned? What's what's Vancouver feeling like?
Oh, there's always new stuff coming along. Yeah. And usually, of course, if there were something new that if there were anything that I were involved in,
you couldn't say anything about it. What's the overall feel?
But
of the
overall feel is that there's definitely work still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, That's good. So at least we know it's not on the, a downward slide.
No. I don't think that's what's happening at all. No, I think, it's pure speculation for me to talk about why Pets isn't going. I know it was very highly rated. My guess is that it's because the toy sales weren't measuring up to the ratings, and that's what these shows are all about.
All about selling the toys. I have to admit, the toys that I saw that they put out weren't really appealing.
Well, and I guess that's that. If we're both right about this, I guess that's what was resonating with people, is that the toys themselves weren't all that.
Yeah, whenever I went to Toys R Us or any place, all the pony toys were gone, and all the Littleest Pet Shop toys were always there.
Yeah.
So that's
it's also partly because it's a different market. Pets never took off with the adult market in the same way that ponies did, and so there was never that same kind of hunger for the collector.
For the collector, yeah, the collector guy.
certainly not on not on his grand scale.
Let's get into one of the funnest and arguably most heart-wrenching performances of Mac. Was of course the Orchard Blossom episode. Of course, Brotherhood Social.
Yeah.
And I felt that it was Mac doing just about anything he could for his little sister to get what she wanted.
Absolutely.
Right. Siblings do that for each other.
Yeah.
But people out there saw nothing but negativity in what happened with what the character and how it was portrayed.
Well, some people did.
Some people did. Not.
I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
That reaction. I wasn't. I was expecting a certain amount of politics with it, because there's always, I know there's always politics around Princess Big Mac, which started out as a joke, and then it was in that one episode in the Dream, and there was a little bit of politics around that too. There's all this stuff where people have they have a particular headcanon around the character, and I think some people see what you're talking about, which is the is a sibling who is doing the loyal thing for his sibling, and they just see that and they don't see beyond it, and that I think is ultimately is the spirit with which the show was written, and still other people see it as part of an overarching narrative of the character, where he has a sort of fluid gender role, because he does want to be a princess in his dreams, and he isn't tied to his sexuality in the same way perhaps as you might expect. And some people have that gender narrative, or simply they have that narrative running, and so when they see him dress as a woman to help his sister through this thing, they see it as a tremendously positive thing. But then there's still other people who are going through a different set of things and maybe don't see him as gender fluid, and they are sort of reacting to the age-old stereotype of a man in a dress is a joke, and any man in a dress being a joke is symbolic of themselves being a joke, and they are not a joke, and they have to fight back. There are all sorts of, when it comes to that kind of thing and trans rights and whatever, trans people in Western societies don't have legal rights a lot of the time, and that's a problem. It's a huge problem, and so they are feeling all of that politics when they see that character, and it's like you can't just sort of pull it all apart and say, hey everybody, you need to relax, and hey everybody, you need to whatever. Like, people are going to respond to it with their own thing. So I thought it was really fascinating. I actually learned quite a bit about trans rights and how to talk about sexuality through that.
I think it's one of the awesome things.
But at the end of the day, I really do think that, like, what we're talking about here is a character who was not a joke. This was a character who was doing the thing that he thought was the right thing to do, and as Dave Polsky told me in an email at one point, the whole point of him putting the dress on was it provided him with freedom to talk, because he never has that freedom. He feels contained, and the dress provided freedom for him to talk, and that freedom extended into the end of the episode where he has the monologue, and I think that's a very positive message ultimately, and I think that one has to acknowledge that at a certain point. While at the same time acknowledging that it is something that can be perceived as offensive, just as the same as it was perceived as offensive when Bugs Bunny did it, just as the same as it was, So there's sort of three different sort of main reactions, and I thought that was really fascinating, just from a sociological perspective.
The thing that I think is awesome about it is that, one, it brought up discourse.
Yeah.
And two, you as an actor didn't poo-poo it and actually opened up a dialogue as, the man who performed what was going on. And I think it was awesome. Some people took it too far, and some people said, okay, let's talk about it, and that was great. But some of these people that took it too far I'm a little miffed at them, but it's their thing.
I sort of don't really agree with that necessarily. I don't really know that there is a too far. I think that dismissing anybody for feeling anything comes from a position of privilege. If you have the privilege to say the way that you feel about this is incorrect or wrong, then you need to check your privilege, I'm afraid. I can say that I don't think it was meant in a hurtful way, and I think it was done with a light heart, and I think it was an effective, positive message. I can say that because that's what I believe about it. But I have to acknowledge, I must acknowledge that, it hurt people, and that is legitimate, and it's unfortunate. But it's only through talking, it's only through saying to those people that were hurt, oh, okay, you were hurt. Can I hear why? Let's talk about that and try to move us towards a place where you're not going to be hurt by these things.
And I acknowledge
we
that.
don't do these things because they're hurtful. I don't really know what the end game is in the whole thing.
Yeah.
But
I acknowledge that, and that's great. The people that I'm talking about are the ones that don't talk and just yell. The ones that yell their position and don't listen. Those are the people I'm talking about.
Well, that's always a problem, isn't it?
There's always that problem. Yeah. So I'm not talking about the people that talk. I'm talking about the people that yell and don't listen and don't want to talk.
But I always, I will always try to shut down somebody, even if I agree with them. I will always try to shut down somebody that is not involved in discourse.
Yes.
You have to approach it with your ears open. But again, the problem that you're dealing with a lot of the times, and when you're dealing with issues of disenfranchisement, I think you have to be aware that as a privileged person, the onus is on you, really, to be patient and to have your ears open. And if they're yelling, it means they don't feel heard. And it's up to those of us who are lucky enough to be considered privileged and who are privileged. It is up to us to be better.
Well said. Speaking of Big Mac in the Dream, he dreams of himself as a princess. Here's a beautiful picture of him from that shot. Do you think, and we talked about this a little bit just now, that it's an extension of his feelings in the talk with Applebloom about being stuck on the farm and Applejack going off to save Equestria? Right, she's always got the hero thing, and she's off saving Equestria, and he's stuck on the farm, and that's sort of his way of in his mind of, I can get off the farm and do heroic things and all of that.
Yeah, I think that's a sort of valid thing. I haven't really thought about that before. I always looked at that as first of all, I enjoy that he's a little bit gender fluid. I like that. My headcanon is that he's gender fluid, because I don't think we all need to be quite so restrictive about all these things. It seems a bit silly to me. But so I've always just sort of approached it as, why not? And it's always baffled me as I've had people come to me and say, oh, well, why do you have to make Big Mac gay? And I'm like, it doesn't have a shred to do with that. And so what if it did? It, I don't think we're making him anything. I think we're just making him himself. And if anything, the thing that I sort of clung to with it was that more than anything, that the most powerful ponies in Equestria are all princesses. And it was a moment where he needed to be powerful. Applejack says to him, you can be anything you want in this dream. And he thought, well, what's the most powerful thing that there is? And he gleefully and openly accepts that and uses it. And I think, again, great. Let's do it without fear and without judgment and without politics. It's just.
I like it. I like that idea. Great Wickering Stallions, though.
Great Wickering Stallions!
Dr. Hooves talks, finally.
Oh, so fun.
So much fun. Oh, my God. We see him. The thing is, not only does he talk, but he pretty much carries the episode. The entire storyline hinges on everything he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
fun.
It's crazy that they picked that character to base everything that's going on off of. Did you base his personality, his voice, on any particular doctor from that other show that shall not be named? Or was it a mix of a number of the different doctors?
Well, let me tell you the story.
Do it.
That, again, is the story as I know it, but may not, there's a little bit of telephone that goes on because I'm not always privy to what happens behind the glass.
Okay.
But my understanding of it was I talked to Jim Miller ahead of the record, and he said we want you to play this doctor character in the 100th episode. And I said, oh wow, that's great, exciting. Is it? I asked. Is it the Dr. Hooves? And he said, well, we're not calling it that, but yeah, it is. And I said, okay, that's exciting, that's great. And he said to me, listen, though, there's one thing. They are courting David Tennant because he was in town at the time filming. And I think they were hoping to get him to.
Oh, of course, yeah, you
play
could.
It. And I would have been happy as hell to have had to come to work with David Tennant. That would have been great.
Yeah.
But they said they weren't sure if they were going to get him, and they had the record date coming up, and so they needed somebody to come in and do it anyway. So I came in and I laid it down, and but I thought, okay, if it's between me and David Tennant, I should try and sound as much like David Tennant as I can.
Okay.
And, I'm not, there's sort of two different kinds of voice actor. There's the kind of voice actor that can, at the drop of a hat, mimic anybody perfectly. And I'm not that guy. I've got a couple of guys that I can do quite well, but I'm not that good at going, oh, David Tennant, absolutely, he sounds like this, but I'm not that guy. There are other people who can do that. I'm not that guy. So I just had to do my best.
Right.
Which is, what I did. I went back. I've seen all the show. I love the show. So I went back and I Googled some of it and watched some of his episodes again and that. And then when I finally got the script, I went into it and looked at it. And the thing is, it wasn't really written like Doctor Who.
Okay.
And the reason for that is that Mitch, who wrote the episode, had never really seen Doctor Who, and decided that he was going to make it more like Doc Brown from Back to the Future, because he felt, I guess, that that was a sort of crazy doctor character that he knew, and he, I guess he figured that he would just write it that way, because again, I don't think there was no specificity coming for him to say, make it Doctor Who.
Right.
Just it was make the Doctor sort of crazy doctor character. Go. So I don't think he, I don't think he ever thought about it too much. But then that left it with me coming across a few moments and saying, this doesn't seem quite right, that doesn't seem quite right. So I'm the one that sort of added, I mean, he wrote like Great Wicker and Stallions, which is a really sort of Doc Brown kind of thing. But I'm the one who added the allons-y. I'm the one who added, I sort of put the tenantisms into it.
Nice.
So that benefited it. And then the moment at the end with the in the actual wedding ceremony when he goes, of course, it's love that brings it together. That, is again trying to stay true to Tennant. But for me, the moment from Doctor Who that was like was in the "Are You My Mummy?" episode.
Yeah.
Chris Eccleston gets to the end and goes, "Everybody lives."
Nice. Yes.
And that was the inspiration for that moment.
Well, on top of that,
that kind of combination of things.
You know who he grabbed? He grabbed Rose. There you go. So somebody on the layout knew what you were doing.
Oh yeah. That's the thing. Like the further through production we got, I mean, it was clear to me that if it was going to be between me and David Tennant, that they were asking for a Doctor Who read. That's what they wanted. And I didn't actually know that it was going to be my voice going to air until just a couple of weeks before it came out.
Oh, okay. As much as I loved your performance, it's kind of sad they couldn't get him, right? The BBC probably put the squash on it or something. I don't know.
Or I don't know. Maybe they were happy enough with what I did that they never asked. Or
that was a very good.
There are all sorts of reasons why.
You'll never know
why that never went through, and I don't know the reason why.
Yep, we will never know.
It could be because I was brilliant. I don't know.
I think you were brilliant. I think you were brilliant. We've been everywhere this season. The Equestrian Nation. We've been to the Griffin Empire. We've been to this end to that end. We've been everywhere. Is there one place in Equestria that you think they haven't gone yet that we should?
Oh wow, that's
in your
tough
imagination.
question.
Yeah.
Tough question. Yeah. I don't really know the answer to that question. That's a really tough one for me. I never really think about it in that way, I guess, because I just kind of go where the writers point me. And I have to confess I haven't seen every episode of season 5, and I certainly haven't read any all of the scripts because I only get the ones that I'm in.
Right.
So I don't actually know the full extent of where they've been. So
so in your that Equestria is basically North America, right? And it's all ponyisms of all these places, right? So in your imagination, think of a place you would love to go.
I would love to see it become, I would love Equestria to be Earth, as opposed to just North America. Yeah. I would love it if Equestria sort of. I really like the sort of the global inclusive nature of the show. I really do like that, and I really do like that we are all people. Everybody is just people.
Yeah,
and if you travel internationally, you'll learn that very quickly that people are really not very different, and it doesn't really matter where you go. And so I would love to see that. I would love to see sort of radical cultural shifts within the show that that engage us with this notion of the human animal, because I really do feel like that's something we all need to keep in our minds at all times, especially in volatile times. I feel like we need to remember that it's all just people.
We're all the same genome at the end.
Oh yeah. We all just want the same stuff, We all just want. Everybody just wants security and justice and safety for their families, and that's what everybody really just wants. And if everybody had that, then there wouldn't be war. I believe that.
Yeah. Now with no next season of Littleest Pet Shop, and there's a little lull in your schedule. Right?
There is.
Little lull in your schedule. What really is keeping you busy? Maybe moonlit walks on the beach with your hug pillow,
Yeah, been doing that.
We can't all be waiting around for agent calls. What's keeping you busy right now?
Well, this is often what happens to me. On my birthday, it was just a couple of days ago, and
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay.
And this tends to happen to me sort of through October. I feel really quite dried up, and I think, gosh, what am I doing with my life? And then I get older. But then the beginning of November is always this kind of renewal for me. So I've decided to start writing every day, which I used to do some years ago, and I managed to write several screenplays and several short films, award-winning comedy and all sorts of things, because I was at it. I was creating. And I sort of got lazy about it, and I stopped creating. And so I'd like to start creating again my own things.
Awesome.
And I've decided to document that process in a weekly blog that I will be publishing. I've done one now. So there we go. One out of one. So every Sunday I'll be sort of documenting my progress, and it's also kind of before pony fame. I was basically a tubby nobody, and I did this concerted effort to lose a bunch of weight and blogged about it, and so I thought, well, maybe I can do that again a little bit and see if I can detubify myself again, and
do it.
Why not? And so I'm just trying to get into this kind of mode of creation and self-improvement, and part of that is because it's lully in terms of income. I've decided to create. I've created these 4 secret ship fit cards with the help of Trish Forstner, who's the artist that does the art for BronyCon. We've created 4 ship fit cards. One is a Princess Big Mac card, and that's available on my through PayPal on my website. We're still working out the details of making the website page get finished, but for now you can go through PayPal, send a message to merch@peternew.net, and you can order a Princess Big Mac card for your secret ship fit game, or you can order brand new. I've just gotten the final art the other day, and I'm waiting now on printing, but hopefully that'll be done in the next couple of weeks, and I can start shipping things out. And then I've created. We were talking about Orchard Blossom a minute ago, and how it was three main groups of reactions, and so I decided I should create 3 Orchard Blossom cards that spoke a little bit to each of those main reactions.
Awesome.
So now there's a set of 3 Orchard Blossom cards that you can get. Check my Twitter for pricing and information.
Yep, I will. Yeah, sadly the ship fit game canceled.
I know.
What? It was a big, huge shock to the whole fandom, but they quit.
I know.
And you know what? More power to them. I mean, if it overwhelmed them and they needed to step back from it, they created a monster, and they did a wonderful job of it. I love them for what they did.
Yeah. But if
the monster's taking over your life,
if I have to be the one to carry the torch,
do it. I need to do a new one myself. My mustache card's getting long in the tooth, so I need to do a new one myself.
There you go.
Hopefully we'll do one. I got some merch coming next year, guys. Look for it. I'm gonna follow in the footsteps of this man right here, and start pumping out stuff that you guys are gonna love. So hopefully that'll be out this coming summer. With all the traveling you've done, in the last few years, what's that one place that you just haven't been yet?
Oh, that's easy.
That you'd love to go to.
The Galapagos Islands.
The Galapagos Islands. I'm not sure we have a Ponytown there.
No, I don't think there is one. There's one in Peru. I know there's one in Lima. I think it is in Lima. And so I'd love to go there and then sort of spin that into a trip to the Galapagos, because I'd love to go to the Galapagos. Yes. I would also love to go to Antarctica.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Weird. I hadn't thought of that.
Why is that weird?
Well, it's Antarctica.
So?
Okay, what's to see in Antarctica other than penguins?
Well, first of all, penguins.
Penguins. There is penguins.
And they, the animals there don't fear humans.
Oh, true.
So you can get right up to them. And also, I think I think that the ice is beautiful.
Oh, okay.
And I think it would be something to see.
Yeah, that's sort of like Greenland.
A little bit.
Greenland would be neat.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to see Finland myself. The fjords. I've been pining for the fjords for all my life.
Do you know you've seen a fjord?
I have.
You have.
I have.
Do you know how I know that you've seen a fjord?
How do you know that I've seen a fjord?
You've been to Vancouver.
Yes. I have been to Vancouver.
Do you know what the southernmost fjord in the northern hemisphere is?
I do not know that.
I can tell you. It's Vancouver Harbor.
Amazing. Yeah. And Vancouver Harbor is one of the prettiest places I've ever seen, guys.
It's a fjord.
I went walking around there right when I was up there 2 years ago, and it was a gorgeous, gorgeous place. As a working actor,
yes, sir.
How do you improve your craft between gigs? I mean, what do you do as an actor to step up your game, as it were?
I think it depends on what gigs I'm between. I do different things. Sometimes I find writing helps me to better myself as an actor because it helps me to understand scene work and how to make quick and bold choices. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I like to make my own shorts and put myself in them so that I work. Mm-hmm. So that it's being used to being on set and everything else like that. And sometimes I read. I like to learn how to think about acting. Something that I find that I don't criticize anybody that likes to take classes, but I find that classes don't work for me. I find that classes make me feel like I can be really good at being in class.
Oh, okay.
And I don't really want to be in class. Mm-hmm. I want to be out there in the world doing it. So I would rather do things out there in the world.
Yes. I took that one class too, and I was like the same way. It's like I'm in the middle of this class. I'm going, I want to be doing this elsewhere. I want to be.
Yeah, it's interesting that, right?
Doing it.
So how do you then take that and transfer it into the real world? And I think finding yourself in putting yourself into like an improv troupe or putting yourself into community theater or anything like that, I think is a huge benefit, because you can be in a class and that's one thing, but putting yourself in front of an audience in whatever way, whether that's in a movie theater or on a stage, I think is that is the way we determine whether or not we are effective. I'm one of these actors that I love to watch what I do, and I don't love to watch what I do because I love to watch myself. I actually don't like to watch myself all the time. But I love to watch what I do because I love to hear or see, depending on the project, what I've done that works and what I've done that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that is always evidenced by on camera, it's evidenced by what they've cut or what they've chosen. Mm-hmm. And in voice, it's evidenced by the take they choose and how they've animated it. And there was a character, I think it was last season, like the Cajun Swamp Pony.
Right. Yeah.
They told me ahead of time I was going to be this Cajun Swamp Pony, and I went online and I Googled. I really wanted him to be English Cajun.
Okay.
Because I wanted him to be, sort of in this here character, this sort of kind of. I can't really do it anymore as it's out of practice. But as I practiced this thing and I got it ready, so it was that kind of
right
English Cajun New Orleans kind of sort of voice. And I came and I brought that, and they were like, no, it's got to be Cajun, Frenchy. And I ended up just doing this sort of, I ended up doing this kind of crap Quebecois thing. And I was like really unhappy with it when I left the studio. Yeah. And then when I watched it, when I saw the episode, I was like, oh yeah, that works.
Oh, that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so but I feel like that kind of self-awareness and self-criticism is important in terms of development as an artist, of any kind of artist. You have to be able to look at what you've accomplished. You have to look at what you think are your mistakes and and accurately judge how they're resonating with people.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that, like, what you're most proud of is never going to be the thing that people are the most interested in, or rarely. And what you're least proud of is almost always something that people are interested in.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of.
I have a thing about that. When the last Brony's in fact, the Brony's React we did to episode 100, right?
Yeah.
I did a number of different jokes. One, I did the whole can of Folgers spiel, right, for the pony that got killed. I did a couple of other jokes, but everything anybody says about that is like, when you were dressed up as Octavia playing a cello, I laughed my butt off. I was more proud of these other pieces I did, but me standing there in a skirt with a cello was the funniest thing they saw. And it was like a throwaway gag to me. It was like, okay, I'll do this because me and Ellie Monty sort of set it up. And I was like, I'll do that.
I remember when I was doing sketch comedy live around town with The Legend of Bonefish, a couple of the guys came into the rehearsal room with this brand new sketch idea called When Doctors Get Bored. And the idea was that in the black, there would be a narrator saying, which I think ended up being me, saying, when doctors get bored. And then the lights would come up on these two guys in lab coats, rubbing their heart starters. And then they both scream at the same time, clear! And then they put them on each other and fall backwards onto the ground, and the lights go off.
Right.
And that was the whole joke. When doctors get bored, they start each other's hearts. And I remember thinking, that's never going to fly. That's just not that funny, you guys.
Right.
But I was the only one in the whole group who thought that. And then we put it on its feet in front of an audience, and they loved it. And if I were doing a reunion show now, it's still not the funniest joke in the world to me, but it would be one of the first sketches on my list that I would say, yeah, absolutely, we have to put that in because everybody loves it. Yeah. And so you have to understand that sometimes you're wrong.
Sometimes you're wrong. It's like what you think is funny sometimes isn't, and what is funny weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
the reverse has been true as well. I've written things that I think are hilarious that people have just gone, I don't know, I don't get it.
Last question before we go on. Who is your favorite actor? The one person you look to and think, if I could be that good, man.
Oh, I feel like the answer to that changes routinely. I think probably Meryl Streep.
Really?
I mean, there are a lot of really good actors, and I don't think Meryl Streep is necessarily the best of them, but certainly there are better comic actors than her. Certainly there are better, Johnny Depp comes to mind as a person who's a great chameleon, and but Meryl Streep is her ability to be. I mean, she's a tremendous chameleon, I think, and she also has a tremendous access to honesty and emotional courage that I marvel at it. I really do marvel at it.
Wow, cool. As I was putting this whole thing together today, the one picture on your website, it was just the black and white shot of you looking straight at the camera. When I look at that picture, the actor that comes to mind to me is Marty Feldman.
I've got that before. I am slightly wall-eyed.
Just slightly, right? Just in that particular picture, just a little bit. And I'm thinking to myself, comedy. Marty Feldman was a comedy writer in England for many, many years before he ever hit the silver screen. And what he did in Young Frankenstein was awesome. So, and it's just, that whole look is like, God, Marty Feldman.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I feel like I've been likened to several different people over the course of my career. Marty Feldman is one. Jack Elam is another.
Oh, okay, yeah.
An old Western guy. There's a guy living in L.A. who just released a book. I met him when he was in Vancouver doing stand-up comedy. He had this. His name is Cliff Nesterhoff.
Okay.
And he had this he had this character that he did, which I really loved. And he was, younger than me, and he was in his 20s at the time, and he had this character named Shecky Gray.
Okay.
And he would come up there, and he, in his horn-rimmed glasses and his, his skinny kid. He would come up there and he'd be Shecky Gray, this comedian from, the golden era of vaudeville. And he'd do all these jokes that were sort of evocative of that era. And I thought it was brilliant. I think it went over a lot of the audience's head. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was brilliant. He moved to Los Angeles and has spent the last several years interviewing comedians from all eras.
Wow.
And he's just released this book, which is... getting rave reviews as this, this compendium of the history of comedy.
That's awesome.
And I'm super proud of him. And why am I talking about him again? Doesn't matter. This is one of those accomplishments that I'm nobody next to that as far as I'm concerned.
I tell you what, one thing, when we get you to the next convention with Buttons, I want you to listen to Buttons doing Princess Celestia as, a vaudeville comedian of the 40s.
Well,
the cigar and everything.
That's something I want to hear.
Yes.
Yes.
I want him to do that. We've been threatening to buy him a dress for like a year to get him to a convention and do a stand-up comedy routine as Celestia. So it's going to happen, Buttons. If I have to buy the dress myself. Moving on. We're going to talk about convention season. Still a couple of conventions coming up this year. Ponyville Cider Fest coming up real quick.
Yes.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin, November 20th, 22nd. Guests include...
me.
Him. And Ashley Ball, Rebecca Soichet, and the Shake Up from Ponyville band. Jen Blake, Tabitha St. Germain is now coming.
This is going to be hot.
Yes. Sponsor badges, I think, just ended. End of October. They're going to have the 21 and over cider bar, apple pie bake-off, sponsored dinner, tons of things to do and see. You've got to go to the Spy Bar. If you go to the Spy Bar.
Absolutely. It was that was a blast last year.
It was just a blast. Yes. And then, of course, Pacific PonyCon coming up, San Diego, California, January 8th to 10th. They've got Andrea Libman, No Whacking, Ellie Monty, and I love Impossible a lot so far.
And not me?
Not you yet. But you'll want to go because it's at the Kona Kai Hotel, which is on its own private beach, boat rentals, bike rentals, kayaks, free Wi-Fi.
What?
Yes! Free Wi-Fi. Amazing. Rooms are still $139 a night. Use the group code 1119 SDC to get that $139 a night. PacificPonyCon.com.
That sounds totally rad. I didn't even know about that one.
It's awesome. And with that, we're going to go into charity real quick.
Wait, no. Before that, I've just been announced tonight.
Yes, that's true.
I've just been announced.
Where?
Just this night.
Yes.
I will be appearing in February.
Yes.
In Brooklyn, New York.
New York.
I'm coming to that one.
PonyCon New NYC.
PonyCon NYC.
Pita New.
Super looking forward to that.
Super genius. Yes. So
it's my Big Mac, New York Big Mac. Hey, yep. That's him. Yep.
So Peter will be there. Lots of people will be there. We'll give you some more details on PonyCon NYC next show. So that's all coming up next year. Next year's season is going to be off the chain dope stuff. So it's going to be great.
I'm also going to Everfree Northwest.
Everfree Northwest.
Can't let that slide. That's in spring next year.
Absolutely spring next year. So, last show's charity for KP was, of course, the Georgia SPCA. We were really close to not making that one, but of course Spike Firemain came on right there at the end and helped us get over the hump. $500. Thank you very much. And so we got this pile of stuff down here. I still have this 2012 set of ponies from McDonald's. That's going to go out to you guys. This chrome-haired Rainbow Dash Funko. This, let's see what else we got here. It's My Little Pony comic IDW number 27 right there. We got the secret ship fit cards. I've got you're going to get the Blazing Hot Wildfire right here. Sipsy, who just left the program. We'll talk to her about that hopefully in the future. The My Little Pony calendar from the Japan PonyCon guys. That's in there. Also,
that'd be a rad con to go to, wouldn't it?
Yeah, wouldn't it? Oh my God, yes.
Awesome.
And of course, a script cover page signed by Charlotte Fulton from Season 1.
Season 1!
Yes, this is the My Little Pony Opposites Attack, which was the working title of Look Before You Sleep. of course, written by Charlotte Fullerton back in 2010. So I got a couple more of these for you guys, so that's going to go out to you. And of course, whoever wins this, their OC is going to work with I Love Kim Possible a lot in one of her future reviews. Let's see who gets that. Isn't that exciting? That's exciting, actually. You get to be animated. Who's this? Amazing. The name is Generic Pony. I'm not kidding. Generic Pony wins all this stuff. So if you are Generic Pony, then you get to be in a I Love Kim Possible a lot video soon, and you'll get all this stuff shipped to you by me. So I need you to send me a email, dusty@manlybrony.com, with all of your contact information, and we'll get all that off to you. Now, get all this out of here and put my fez on. Because why? Because fezzes are cool. There you go. Yes. Doctor Who fez. That's the one thing that didn't happen. Just, he didn't wear a fez. He had to wear a fez.
Oh, that was Matt Smith.
I know it was Matt Smith, but still, fezzes are cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bow ties, cool.
So moving forward, ever forward, never straight. Yes. Pete's Charity. This one's awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
I love this one. This one's called Kid Power. Now, Kid Power is a group that helps with online and classroom bullying, and this has been a major problem. I mean, now it's moved over to other fandoms. I mean, not only has it happened in our fandom, but it's happened now in other fandoms where people are getting bullied online for stuff that they're drawing, and it's like, this needs to stop, people. It needs to stop. Right. And these people are going to help with that. Online bullying and school bullying is just stupid. Please, everybody, back the heck up here. Okay? We don't need to be driving people to do serious harm to themselves because they put pencils to paper or anything. Okay? It's not for you to decide. And these people help with that. So they're an international organization based out of Canada, so it's Canada Helps, dedicated to solving these problems, getting information in the hands of police and schools to help stop this stuff. And it's an epidemic. It's gone beyond just a problem. It's an epidemic now. So we need to stop this.
Anytime there is anyone that has ever felt, I don't know, I was appalled, and I'm repeatedly appalled that there is ever anybody that tries to take their own life because they feel bullied.
Yeah.
That should never happen. It should simply never happen.
No. I was a bullied kid. The depths of what I feel about this is beyond. Okay, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. This is important to me. Okay, more important than almost anything I ever do. Okay, when we do bullying charities. So if you go over to manlybrony.com and you click on the link and you give us anything at all, okay, $5, whatever, you'll be in a drawing for some of this stuff over here. Now, what I've got is, of course, the secret chipfig folder cards, everything I've got left, which of course is BabsCon, mine, and the Blazing Hot Wildfire. Okay, these cards are going to get rare because the game has been canceled. So we got those. I do have some Big Mac collector cards. Right here, I've got Apples to the Core song card, I've got the Big Macintosh character card, and I've got Pinkie Apple Pie episode card. So those will go. I've got a Ponyville Newsmaker set, which has the Snips and Snails miniatures in it, right here with Pinkie Pie. So that'll go. I've got, this is kind of cool. Caredwin found these, and I just refound them because I set them aside somewhere where I wouldn't lose them. And of course, what happened? I lost them. So here we go. This is some wall decorations, which you can take these off and put them in the wall of your bedroom or around your car or whatever. These are kind of cool. They're wall decals. So that's got all of the main 6 in there. So that's pretty cool. That. And this comic, which just came out, this is the IDW number 35, which is the second Sombra issue, but this is the artist proof issue that you could only get if your comic shop actually picked it up. So that, which is the artist proof issue, these are pretty rare. So we got that. Now, if we crack 500 bills, $500. our good friends over at Little's Toy Company are going to give these. This is a beautiful Rainbow Dash hat and the periodic table of pony t-shirt, any size you want. Those. But I think that we could probably get Peter to kick in. How about a set of secret shipfit cards signed?
Only if I sign them, yeah.
Only if you sign them.
Yeah.
How about that? So we hit $500. You're going to get the new cards plus the princess card, all signed by Mr. New. We hit $500. How's that sound?
Boom.
Boom. Done. And of course, Big Caradwin's going to do 1 for 5. So if we hit $500, he gives 100. Everything works. Everything works out in the end. So after the show, go over there, click the link, give some money, so that you can get in on all of this stuff. And the last of the Twilight Secret Shipfit folder cards. Sad that had to die, but there you go.
Unless you want to go to merch at peternew.net
and
buy the ones that I'm selling.
Yes, absolutely.
Which you're more than welcome to do. Please do it.
More than welcome to do that. You know what? I might actually throw in another one of these Charlotte Fullerton script pages, just because. Just because. I'm that kind of guy. So, you go do that. When the show's over, not now. Don't stay, stop. Don't go nowhere. We're not done yet. Okay? Just stay right there. Right there. We're back. Not a problem. Calm down. But you know who we're looking for right now?
Ooh.
That guy you need to scream for.
Screwy!
Oh, you
That
give
guy.
me chills every time you
Absolutely.
do that. It's
All right.
past Halloween. You don't have to.
Yes. Screwy wooey. Hi, Squewy.
I'm not gonna sleep now.
How can you sleep playing all those horror games? That's what I want to know.
Oh man, for Halloween we're playing like hours of was The Evil Within, and that was a twisted game. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah. I can't even play Five Nights at Freddy's, dude.
Oh, that's just cheap jump scares. You need something that gives
That's
environment.
just cheap jump scares, Ethan. I can't even do that. I was showing horror. I was showing horror.
You guys.
Yes, I was showing horror films too young, I think. There you go.
Watch The Thing, best horror film.
Hey, Screwball.
Yo.
I bet there's questions.
Oh boy, is there ever?
Boy, is there
a
ever.
Oh
lot.
boy.
Sweet.
Oh boy.
Woohoo.
Let's see here. This is from RBZ for you, Peter. How did you like voicing Big Mac's Orchard Blossom voice, and how many different voices can you do?
I don't actually know the answer to how many different voices can I do, because I always feel like it's going to cap out at around 12, and then and then they ask me to do something else, and I manage. I think I've done over 100 now, according to Behind the Voice Actors. Probably more than that. But as far as Orchard Blossom is concerned, I absolutely adored it. I absolutely adored it. It was great fun.
It sounded fun. The fun came across in the characterizations of the voice. You could just tell that I'm listening to this show and I'm going, he's giggling his butt off.
Oh yeah, I just thought it was great.
I would be surprised if everybody in the room wasn't giggling their butts off.
Was or like when you came up with the voice, was it hard to figure that out, or did you get it right off the bat?
No, I mean, Dave wrote the episode to be, it was full of I do declares and that stuff. So, at first glance, it was obvious to me that it had to be a Southern Belle. And then the only real challenge was, anybody that has ever heard Sunil scream knows that I can get quite high in my range. And so the only real challenge for me was it had to be Big Mac talking like a girl. So Big Mac is, he's lower than me. He's all the way down here. And so then it had to be him saying, oh yes, I do declare. It had to be in that pocket, because it had to be him as high as he could go, and not me as high as I could go.
Right.
So that was the only real challenge.
That sounds like a challenge,
Yeah,
having to combine two voices. Very big kudos to you. That's really good.
Thank you.
Let's see. Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. I say it the Canadian way. Shut up.
Oh, you're from Alberta, right?
Yes, from Alberta. Yeah. Now I'm here.
How do you feel about the election results, Screwy?
I am very happy.
Oh, good. You moved out
Because, oh yeah, I was happy I got out there because I seen my hometown's results and all of them were conservative. I'm like, oh my goodness, seriously.
So now you're not going back, right?
I don't know yet. This place. It's really expensive, and job market here is probably the worst I've ever seen ever.
It's
and
tough.
I mean, it's very tough. Yes.
We got to make it work somehow.
Somehow, hire me, Peter. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Peter's
gonna hire you to rake his leaves.
I really would if I could.
Yes. Next.
No, that's all right. So this one, let's see. Yeah. Oh goodness. This is from Soggy Milk.
Oh. Soggy Milk is back.
So this is for you, Peter. He always asks this question, and I love it. Who is your favorite background pony, excluding Applejack?
Well, does Dr. Hooves count still as a background pony?
I would
think so.
say
Then
so,
yeah,
yeah.
that's.
Yeah.
Then there's Dr. Hooves Soggy Milk.
You know what?
What?
Since this is back to back, this one's from
James Justice! Resident superhero of Stay Bernie, my friends, who is now putting the beat down on Soggy Milk. Who's in? Yes. I want to know where he's been. I want to know where he's been.
Internet issues and school.
Oh, I didn't know superheroes had to go to school.
You
Is
know,
that because he had to learn international law for like the planet of Uranus or something? Because
Uranus.
if you go fight Soggy Milk on another planet, do the same laws apply? I'm not sure, but I'm sure he's taking classes about that. But you know what? I want to know what he wants to know today.
Question is for you, Peter. What has been your favorite episode or moment that you've recorded so far for Friendship is Magic?
I think probably the Sister Hooves song.
Aha.
Oh yeah.
Sister Hooves! Sister Hooves! So fun.
Yes.
I liked that you were like the baritone, the bass to it.
I can just see Daniel Ingram behind the glass trying to hold his snickering.
He was holding a sticker. He kept burying his head in his hands as well.
Oh.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was so beautiful.
That's good. Oh my goodness.
Sister Hooves.
This one, let's see. Yeah. Oh, so this one. Oh my goodness, I am so out of it today. I think it's because I don't even know what is causing it for me. So this one is from Red Card for Peter. What was the mood like in the studio to record the Schmoopy Doo episode with Nicole Oliver?
Oh, it was very funny. I remember they had Nicole opposite me that day, which was probably problematic for us both.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember having to not look directly at her. But we had a ball.
Nice.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. It was very silly.
This one is from Dirty Ken for you, Peter. What was it like working on the movie Agent Cody Banks? Also, happy belated birthday.
Oh well, thank you very much. First of all, for my birthday wishes. Agent Cody Banks was a ball. I auditioned for the driving instructor. There's a scene with the driving instructor. That's what I actually auditioned for. And then like 3 months went by, and I'd completely given up on that job. And then I get this call saying, "Hey, can you come in and play the security guard?" Yeah, all right. Why not? I needed the money, and it was fun to be in a movie. And he just had to say, like in the script, he had to say, "Come on in" or something. He just had one line, something like that. But the director looked at it and went, this is a missed opportunity for some gags. Let's write it. So I got there, and at the lunch break, the director wrote, like, handwritten. I still have like a photocopy of it. He hand wrote the scene at lunch, and then gave it to me and said, "Okay, we were the first up after lunch." He gave it to me. I had to memorize it at lunch, and a whole thing about, hey, there's no school tour today, and grabbing Frankie Muniz by the collar and everything else. It was all just like kind of on the fly, and then it just kept expanding because then they shot that stuff out and they released me and sent me home, wrapped me out. I was done. Mm-hmm. Then I get a call about 2 days later saying Cody Banks wants you back again for another day because they wanted that moment of, who let him in here, says Keith David. And then it's like, like rack focuses back to me going, Good. But it was all just like, it was this whole like growth of character. And then on top of all of that was, I was just security guard. And the props guy was a guy named Dave Rosiechuck. And he was printing the CIA badges that had names of the crew, because they were printing badges and they had to put a name on it. And they just put crew names on it. And I happened to get his own name, D. Rosiechuck, on my badge. But I didn't know him really at the time. And Keith David improvised this moment in the first scene where I don't let him in and I'm supposed to. He comes right into my face and goes, "What's your name?" And I had to look at my badge because I didn't know what my name was. So I looked at my badge and go, Rosiechuck. And they loved it. They thought it was so funny they kept it. And so we ended up shooting it that way.
Nice.
Wow.
So, it was just this sort of explosion of improvisation and exploration. It was great fun.
Funny.
That's, wow. I love that. From RBZ, question is for you, Peter. Can you do an orchard blossom line for us?
Well, I do declare. I'm as what is it? I'm as hot as a corn cob pipe.
The business end.
The business end
of a corn cob pipe. When you said that line, I was like, they just got away with that. What? What I want to know is how many kids know what a corncob pipe is.
Well, I know Jen Blake thought it was a corncob pie.
What? That shouldn't even be a thing.
Okay.
I know she asked me on Twitter. She was like, "What is a corncob pie?" It's a corncob pipe like Popeye used to smoke. Popeye.
Popeye.
Popeye. Not Popeye.
I don't know if anybody saw The Rock dressed as Popeye.
I saw that.
For Halloween this year, but oh my god, that was hilarious. That's a comedian. The Rock.
Yeah, he's
Dwayne
pretty
Johnson.
funny actually.
He is funny. God, they need to put him in a comedy somewhere.
I almost met The Rock.
Really?
Yeah.
On
They
a
actually
movie?
had
Yeah, in a movie.
Nice.
they actually had oh, sorry.
I was almost in the movie The Tooth Fairy with him and Julie Andrews.
That's right.
But that's a long story that doesn't need to be told necessarily. But I ended up not. I was on set for 2 days, but they never actually shot with me.
Oh, nuts.
And so I never got to meet him. I saw him riding a golf cart one time.
Nice. Next.
See you chasing him down right now. Actually, there was a what's the actor's name that's playing as Deadpool? Ryan something.
Ryan
yeah.
Seacrest. No.
No, Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, but
Ryan Reynolds.
he actually dressed up in the actual Deadpool costume and went around trick-or-treating and got pictures of like kids and stuff. I'm like, that is so
That's
cool.
a guy. That's awesome.
He's such a cool guy. Let's see here. I'll also bring this one from MarBZ. A question for you, Peter.
Yes.
You have a great Doctor Who voice. Can you do a quick Doctor Who line for us?
Allons-y.
I love that. It was actually my most favorite character of the whole episode.
Aw, that's
Definitely.
What would be funny is if you could do the whole video where he tells them about the angels Don't look, don't blink.
Oh, I should do that, shouldn't I?
Yeah, if you do
Oh,
that whole
goodness,
thing
yeah.
as the Dr. Hooves character, that'd be funny. At some point in the future, you know what I'm talking
I hear that's I don't watch Doctor Who, but I hear that's like a horror movie. That one.
about. That whole thing is I love that episode.
Oh, that's a great Screwy. Come on.
Go watch it.
Out of any episodes, is that the one that I
That's
should
the
see?
one. If you want to get hooked on Doctor Who, go watch that episode.
Oh my goodness, I don't know if I can get hooked on
That
that
one,
show.
that one, or
Oh,
the
Screwy, it's such a
intergalactic,
good show.
the intergalactic library with the.
The shadow. Yeah.
With the shadows.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Wow, it sounds like the whole show's a horror movie.
Or that two-parter with Christopher Eccleston with the "Are you my mummy?"
Oh yeah.
That's a great one.
Yes.
I know about the voice.
All written by Stephen Moffat.
As a matter of fact, they were. Yes.
I know there was one episode that my friend kept mentioning. It was some kind of like creature guy that was like stretched out skin on a rack that was constantly saying "moisturize me," and I just thought he showed me that scene. And I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, that's the best thing ever. So every time we're gaming out, I'm like, okay, so throw me down some med packs and moisturize me.
Yeah, that was funny. I like that. You should watch that show. You like that show.
We should.
My friend Jamie's been shoving it down my throat for the past 2 years. He says I have to get into it someday.
Yeah.
Someday I will crack.
You will. You will.
Next.
So this one is from Fleur Cobra for everyone. So how was everyone's Halloween?
Great.
Yeah.
Good fun.
Yes.
What did you guys do?
I dressed up as Tiger Millionaire
From
Steven Universe,
Nice.
and just walked around the neighborhood and watched the kids go trick or treating. Came home, had some drinks. It was good fun.
I got home from work and Caradon was in his swashbuckler pirate outfit, and I put on Macho Cat Dusty Savage, and we had maybe 20 kids show up at the door, and that was it. Kind of disappointing actually, but it was like the ones that did show up were like all odd. It was awesome, but it's like we were sort of disappointed we didn't get as many kids as we usually do. All right, you Screwy.
Mainly we watched. Let's see here. So we played that Evil Within game and had a freaky good time on that one. And then we watched. What movie did we watch? Shoot, it was a horror movie. Oh no, sorry. We watched. It wasn't a horror movie, but it was The Shutter Island.
Oh, okay.
That was such a good movie. And then we watched this cartoon show called Over the Garden Wall.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest you guys see that. It's good. It's not seasonal kind of thing. It was just like a 10-episode cartoon network thing that they made. That it was good and
It's
scary.
so good, isn't it? I love it.
Oh, you actually seen it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It
You
was,
know, it's a comic book, right? It's a comic book.
oh, was it a comic book
I'm
first?
holding the comic book right now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
And it's continuing.
Cool.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I gotta find that comic and read that. That would be so interesting.
Oh yeah, I actually saw a kid dressed up as Wart on Halloween.
You're kidding.
I did. That was awesome.
Cool.
So he actually had like the pointy hat and the.
Yes, totally. It was just fantastic.
Oh my god! I'll do it. They should have. Was there a brother counterpart or no?
I didn't see a brother counterpart, which is too bad because I really.
Because seeing the
That would make a great duo.
the tea kettle on his head would have been hilarious.
Hey guys! I think that Joe Stevens is going to break in with live coverage
Dun, dun, dun.
from Ponyville. Joe Stevens is back. Tech Rat was last week, but Joe Stevens is back. I guess Discord released him or something. So, all right, right now, going back to EQI is now. We'll be back in a second.
Thank you, Dustykatt. Well, it's Nightmare Night in Equestria once again. And on this one day of the year where Luna is let out of her cage, the casualties are racking up. At least 30 Pegasi have crash-landed after wearing masks that restrict their vision. Again, the Equestrian Aviation and Avant-Garde Aerodynamics Association insists that proper visibility be maintained while in flight. That means you, Rainbow Dash. Just because your Jason costume looks awesome does not mean you should fly at Mach 2 while wearing a hockey mask. Costume guards also failed to notice a team of changelings attacking the castle until they'd already destroyed Luna's palace. Again, she was let out for once, but the attempted coup would never have gotten close if the guards hadn't assumed those giants with clubs weren't just ambitious earth ponies in cosplay. The Griffins have taken advantage of the confusion by uniting under Gang Griffiths Khan and are converging on Equestria. No pony knows if their hailstorm of compound bow-launched arrows is an attempted invasion or just an overzealous attempt to get candy. Once again, the Equestrian Health and Bacon-Hating Administration insists that threats of violence are not a good way to trick-or-treat. All this chaos has led to Fluttershy to request Princess Celestia cancel Nightmare Night and save Equestria from its candy-laced assaults, noting the cost of soiled undergarments alone are costing the country millions in dry cleaning bills, not to mention all the burning ducks. Celestia has been mum in response, however, noting that Nightmare Night is a great holiday and to ignore all the damage wrought. After all, things usually go back to normal after about 22 minutes, and perhaps Nightmare Night is just the fear-induced delusions brought on by an omnipotent metamorphosizing Draconicus. I'm Joe Stevens, and this has been a news brief from the Equestrian Inquirer. Back to you, Dustykatt.
Wow. Amazing that all of that happened on Nightmare Night, and it might have been Discord. But was that Discord talking to us, or was that Joe? I'm not sure. Kind of looked like Joe. Kind of looked like Discord. Oh. I'll have to call him to find out. But that's Joe Stevens, EQI, every show. Make sure you come back for all the news straight from the desk in Ponyville with Joe Stevens. And we're back. Screwy.
Yo.
All right. More questions?
Oh, Jesus. Again, I'm not going to be able to sleep now. So this is from Pink Pearl Apple. Random question, she says. What would you like most in your M&M's? Cafe mocha, peppermint, or hot chocolate?
Hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. Hot chocolate.
Cafe...
Wasn't that like a 70s disco band?
Should be if it wasn't.
Yeah, I know.
Go back in time, make it happen.
No problem.
So this one's actually from Soggy Milk again. Question for you, Dusty. Besides Billy Fool, do you have any other artistic styles besides music and voice acting?
Yeah, I build things. I've built Harley Davidson motorcycles. I've drawn. I have a lot of my own drawings on my DeviantArt page. And I've made a lot of things with wood. In fact, if you watch my YouTube channel, soon, I will have a series where I build something, which is a congratulations to myself for getting 20,000 subscribers and over 2 million views on my YouTube channel. So for you guys, I'm going to build something. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but it's going to be a series, and you get to watch.
Ooh. That's going to be good.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Next.
This one is from Caradwin.
Oh, Caradwin.
Caradwin?
Caradwin.
Amazing. He's like right there. I swear to God, he's on the couch right there.
I instantly saw this question and I completely agree in this. Caradwin says, you do lots of excellent photography, Peter. Ever considered a coffee table book?
Yes.
Yes, he says.
Ooh.
I have considered that, but I don't really know how to do that.
He doesn't know how to do that.
So
I
Google
think
it.
we'll have to figure it out for him.
Instagram instead.
Yeah.
We'll have to. Will you stop licking that? Cats. Wait a minute, I'm a cat. Disregard what I just said. Go ahead. Next.
Stop licking that, Dusty. This one is from Sugar.
Sugar, what's up, babe?
Sugar likes to ask. Oh wait, one sec. I would like to ask Peter, how much did he enjoy opening up his Big Mac and the end of Brother Hooves Social?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Yeah, I mean, I thought what a wonderful surprise that was going to be for everybody to have. It's one thing to have him talk a lot as Orchard Blossom,
Right.
but it's another thing to have him come clean as Big Macintosh, and to have it be a genuine Big Mac episode, I thought was great. I just loved it. I really wanted to do a good job with that speech. That was the thing that I wanted most of all out of that whole episode, was to do a good job of that speech.
And you did. I think there wasn't a single dry eye. It was a really good emotional scene. I teared up.
Season 5 has been pulling the heartstrings.
Oh my goodness, have they?
Feels all
They've
season.
been knocking it out of the park. I love
Absolutely.
it. It's been a very solid season. Definitely one of my more favorite ones for sure.
And 6
Oh,
is still
great.
coming.
6 is still coming.
Yep.
I'll be surprised if there's a 7th, 8th, billionth. Who knows?
One person in this room may know, but it's not me and you.
I don't know about 7 billion.
Yeah. He knows about 7 billion.
Somehow doubt it.
He knows about 6, but that's about it.
Yeah, I know for sure that there's going to be 6.
Yes, everybody does. That was announced.
Yes, I know.
The one thing I can't ask you is whether you guys are done recording it, because I know you can't tell me. But so that's like the only curiosity I have is whether or not you've seen all the scripts and you've already done your recording.
Well, I never see all the scripts. I only ever see
All
the
the
ones
scripts that you're in. You know.
that I'm in. Yeah. I've seen all the ones that I'm in so far, which is perhaps all the ones that I'm in. But I never know for sure.
There you go. They could write them in at any time.
At any moment.
At any moment. Yes. Let's go, Spree. We're running out of time. Let's go. Let's
Yep,
go.
I was just about to wrap. So this question is, Dear Princess Big Mac, are you excited for Ponyville Ciderfest coming up this very soon? Your faithful student, Spike Firemane.
Yep.
There you go. Yep, he is.
What were you most excited about it? Any
Pardon me?
plans? Any plans for it?
So I know that they're thinking of organizing another bathtub party.
Oh yes.
But the thing is, the bathtub party that we had at Babs last year was completely,
Random.
seat of the pants. It was random. So they're going to organize one for us this year. I have no idea how that'll turn out, but certainly willing to give it a shot.
I actually got a question about that. What is a bathhouse party?
Bathtub, not bathhouse.
Bathtub?
Bathtub party.
Well-
Is that where like everyone's wearing robes or something?
No. We were kind of. I was with Jen Blake, and we were wandering around looking for a party at BabsCon last year, and we found we'd heard there was going to be something in this particular room, and we went into the room, and there was nothing there, and so we kind of explored the room a little bit, and there was this sort of lavish bathtub, and so we just sat in it,
Drinking.
drinking. And,
I walked in on this and went, there was
but there was
12
started with
people
just like,
in this room.
This is like 4 of us to begin with, but then people gradually over the course of the night kept coming in and exploring the room, and then they would come around the corner and find us sitting in the bathtub and having a great time, and it just became
Hilarious.
a bathroom party.
Yeah,
We were all
it became
just in
hilarious
bath-
is what it became.
Oh my goodness, I've
It was
never
very-
heard.
It was silly.
Pretty much.
This one is from from Dat Tax Pony.
Hey, Tax.
For Peter, I loved hearing the story of your trans relative. Are they doing well?
Yes, she is. Thank you very much.
That's good.
Awesome.
Oh goodness. This one's from Ricardo of R200 for Dusty. What was that picture you took the other day with those dusty glasses?
Dusty glasses.
I'm guessing it's those white amazing specs you had that said Dusty on it.
Oh, you mean that's those? If you remember back in, some of you might not be old enough to remember, but the Macho Man Randy Savage used to come out in his big, huge ring coat with the streamers and everything, and he used to wear these white glasses which had Macho across that was painted on the front. So my good friend Dennis Daniel had these made for me that said Dusty on them, so I could actually have the Macho Man glasses with my name, which were absolutely incredible. Thank you very much, D. And it was the first time I got to wear them with the Macho Cat costume, and they're perfect. They're absolutely perfect. Thank you very much again. So that's what that was all about.
That's so. I love those glasses. They're so sick. I love them.
But you know, Screwy.
Yeah.
You know what time it is?
Okay, that's one more.
Okay, you get one more.
Okay, because this one is from my good friend Vinyl. I just noticed his, so I figure I'd bring this up. What's your for you guys? What's your preferred genre of music if you listen to any at all?
Depends on my mood.
Sorry, you go ahead. Let me think.
Yeah, it depends on the mood. And, if I'm feeling sort of like I want to relax, it's sort of like smooth jazz. If I feel like I want to get pumped to do something, I'll listen to my hair metal from the '80s. If I'm feeling sort of nostalgic, I'll listen to my Jim Croce collection. It just depends on the mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sort of similar. I have a sort of sense of humor when it comes to music, so I quite like They Might Be Giants, but I also like I feel like every genre has its good music and its bad music, so I quite like there's a Canadian band called Rheostatics that I really like, which is sort of rock and roll done right. But then I also like electronica. I also like Lyle Lovett. I also I'm all over the map with it really.
That's like I had the Yang like a couple of weeks ago that I just went back and watched Daft Punk's Interstellar movie.
Yeah, great.
Because I was just in the mood, right? I watched the whole thing, stem to stern, just because I wanted to listen to the music. I said, I might as well watch the movie, and I watched the whole thing. Right now I'm getting into this band out of Japan called Bandmaid, which is an all-girl hard rock band that plays in maid costumes. But they're really great players, and they play music that I loved that was made back in the 80s. So I'm into that now. So it just depends on what tickles my fancy at the time. So there you go. But now, the guest gets to ask a question of me and Screwball.
I do?
Yes. That's the new thing that you don't know about.
Ask the hardest question you possibly can.
I would prepare something if I'd known.
That's why we didn't tell you.
Oh.
It's supposed to be,
all right. Then
supposed to be off the cuff.
My question for the two of you
Yes.
then is, okay, should I make it a silly question or a good
Whatever
question?
you wish, my friend.
All right. What do you see as the future of Bronydom?
That's a serious question. I see the future, hopefully, that no matter how long the show goes or when it ends, that you will have the core fan that will be like the Trekkie from the 70s that holds that in their heart for the rest of their lives, that it was something that helped them change the way they were, the person they were, and just continues to feel the love tonight, if you want to call it that. But I'm hoping that the true fan holds the ideals of the show to their heart and continues to be a fan, long after the show might end.
Because everything does come to an end.
Everything
eventually.
does come to an end.
It really does. But
they just announced a new TV Star Trek series for 2017.
Yep.
So it all comes back around.
Which I'm sure that even
Do I get
after
to be in that show, by the way? Can I be in it? Can I be in it? Me and John Delancey star?
Sure, why not?
All right.
But
You can be redshirt number 3.
even if G4 does come to an end and it's Hasbro, a G5 is going to come out or something, right?
G5 will come out.
Maybe it might even be a back-to-back switch to other like characters or a whole new story set. It could be anything.
It could be anything. Who knows? The big
But-
movie in 2017 might be a whole reboot to a Generation 5. You never know.
But the fandom will never die. Fandoms never die.
Fandoms never die.
There's always a fan of classic stuff, and it's gonna keep going till the end of the world. So
It's the end of the world as we know it.
I feel fine.
I'm sure you feel fine. But that is, my friends, I'm sorry, but the end of the program. So we got some things we need to do here. I will like to remind everybody that we still have this t-shirt over here. We have it on Redbubble. We have it on TeePublic. So if you want to go and check out all the designs we have for you, not just this design, but all the designs we've had so far, pick up a t-shirt, pick up a hoodie, pick up anything that you like. This is actually art done by Sabrina. Sabrina sadly has left the show for greener pastures. She can't say where she's going yet, but I'm sure she'll tell us. So if you want any of this, there'll be new designs coming up this spring. I'll have more stuff coming up soon. Things are in the pipeline. I'll let you know. But go check out our t-shirt. It's really a great little design. I love it. And you get Screwball too. So that's happening. I want to thank, of course, my sponsor, Littleest Toy Company. Littleest Toy Company, who has the t-shirts and the hat for this next giveaway. Plus, they give us all the Funkos and all the other really great stuff. Littleest Toy Company on the web. Check them out. Anything you need, I'm sure they can get. So check them out. And with that, I would like to thank Mr. New.
Hey, that's me.
Yes, for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you guys. It was a real pleasure.
Fourth time.
Is it my fourth?
Fourth time on the show.
I thought it was only my third.
Fourth, which means
Really?
Which means it's sort of like Saturday Night Live. If you're on the show 5 times, then you get to host.
Sweet. I want to host. That'd be great.
Yes. So hopefully we don't wait another year to get you back.
Yeah.
We won't. We'll get you next summer. So Peter New.
Summer. I have to wait that long?
No, we'll figure it out. We'll get you there. You know, we do have an off season coming up, so we'll need something to talk about. So Pete, thank you very much again. Screwball for everything he does. That
Thank
guy
you.
right there.
No problem.
Amy, my wonderful girlfriend. Care to Win Boobala, who's right over there, who helps. None of this would happen without him, guys. None of this would happen without Care to Win. So thank him whenever you get a chance. Of course, yes. Everyone busting their flanks over on My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, making this wonderful show. Everybody over at Candlelight Hill, who keeps the website going, so we have a place to put our smiling faces, so you guys can come watch us. And everybody out there in TV land who comes every time we turn that camera on and make dang fools of ourselves. Every time. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. And now, I'm not going to make the mistake again, because last show I said this lady would be with us this week, and I got my dates mixed up. But next week, Ellen Kennedy, the Maniac, will be with us. We're going to talk Maniac stuff. We're going to talk superheroes. So, James Justice, you better be here. I'm sure you can get some tips. I'm sure you can get some tips from the Maniac. You know, how to be evil. Soggy milk. But there you go. Ellen will be here. With that, we're flat out of here. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. We love you. And we'll see you in 2. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We hate to leave you, but we'll be back soon. Good night, sweetheart. Good night. Good night, sweetheart. Good night.